Sign up today for a 7-day free trial at alerts.chartguys.com. Hey crypto friends, checking back in on the sector, we're going to look at Bitcoin, Ethereum Litecoin, XRP, BNB, and EOS BTC at the end there. So we have very significant strength last night in a couple other individual names, Ethereum leading the way, and Ethereum actually hit a higher high today, but we are getting some clear signs of a shift in Bitcoin, which has us cautious for healthy consolidation and patiently waiting for a daily higher low to form. The question that we have now on Bitcoin, and you can see Bitcoin has formed a higher low every day for about 10 days in a row, and we now broke that pattern. So that tells us to look for consolidation. The question is, will it be a bull flag? Or will we pull back and look at the exponential supports? If we were to drop all the way down to the low 7,000s towards these exponential supports, the odds of a bull flag are not there. But if we hold strong and hold 7,500 the next couple days, the odds of a bull flag are possible. So we're certainly not saying that the run is done yet. We're saying that we are now in consolidation mode after being in breakout mode for a solid week. And we saw a little bit of signals as to a shift in momentum. And we talked about that in yesterday's video as far as the RSI goes. On the way up, the 5-minute RSI very rarely got far below 30, and oftentimes it bounced right at 30, which shows aggressive dip buying and a lot of bulls waiting at those oversold conditions. Then from the top, we saw the most extreme 5-minute RSI levels that we've seen in over a week. And that told us things are a bit different. We're not seeing as aggressive dip buying. We're seeing more selling pressure. From there, we dropped down and the RSI dipped into the low 20s again. And again, that was notable. And so now we're in a situation where it's the 15-minute RSI we want to be watching for potential oversold conditions. You can see we dropped down to 78.36 and bounced. If you've been watching these videos consistently that we've been putting out the past couple weeks, you remember back when we were talking about the alert system, alert.chartguys.com, and the 15-minute oversold climax alert. And back before the breakout took place, that's where our entries were. The 15-minute oversold conditions leading into bounces. And it's not just oversold conditions, it's oversold climaxes factoring in volume as well. But you can see the last time it has happened, it has been a while because the bulls have been in full control and we didn't hit that oversold condition on the 15-minute time frame. We just did yesterday or this morning, and that led to a really nice bounce. That triggered at 79.01, and we bounced all the way up to 8,131. So a nice $200 plus bounce. So now we're focusing on the 15-minute RSI at this point. We are most comfortable with bounces when the 5, 15-minute, and hourly conditions are all, the more oversold, the better, essentially, as far as time frames go. And talked a lot about these oversold bounces in the past in all the videos that we've done through 2018. But what we're looking at now is, can the hourly RSI drop to oversold? Because it certainly hasn't at this point. And another pattern that the bulls are watching and hoping for is an inverse head and shoulders on the hourly time frame. And that would just essentially show a lower high and lower low pattern of consolidation, changing the trend with a higher low and higher high. And that would be a bull flag on the daily time frame if the bulls can pull this off. So the next 6 hours or so are going to be very telling for me, because if we do get this higher low and then the bulls make their way up to break $88,041, it's going to be a very notable shift back to looking at the high of this bull move. And these altcoins should continue to benefit from Bitcoin at least holding up. It's when Bitcoin pulls back significantly that we see that correlation drop these names. When Bitcoin is trading sideways or has a slight uptrend, that's a really good environment for these altcoins to see some strength. So another thing I want to talk about is the shorts chart. BTC USD shorts on Bitfinex. A lot of people talking about this and saying, whoa, look at all these shorts that have covered. The shorts have dropped from 27,000 down to 16,000. That's 11,000 Bitcoin covering their shorts. Why isn't the price reacting to that? How do we have a red day when we see that much short covering? And the answer is, shout out to one of our moderators, Cryptoby, for digging to get this actual answer. But here it is, where claiming a position is essentially converting from a margin trade into an exchange trade. So you close the position by buying it yourself, settling your funds, and giving your settled funds to the lender. Because of this, there is no trade activity on the order book. Essentially, it's not happening on the open market, and you do not see these shorts covering happening on the order book as far as buying back coins. So you can close out your short position without ever having to actually trade on the open market. So as far as looking at these charts and saying, is this a short squeeze scenario? Is this going to happen? Well, we can't get any information from this chart now because whoever's holding these short positions can just buy it back themselves and not be forced to buy at the ask on the open market. So here is Cryptoby's words. His mostly non-existent trust in the long-short chart just evaporated after speaking to the Bitfinex admin. Explanation for the 21% drop. This was over a month ago. But explanation for the drop in shorts without corresponding market activity, the position was claimed. And we used to think that only longs could be claimed, but shorts can be claimed as well. So again, I personally would put way less value into these charts, and I have not looked at the short or long chart in probably over a month at this point. So checking in on Ethereum, it has been the lead bull, and there is volatility galore in this name. We're definitely extended. We're looking for that volume climax to indicate daily consolidation is necessary. Keeping in mind that for the most part, for everybody in the sector, we're looking for daily higher lows to form. Because again, I know a lot of people that are looking to buy these daily bounces or these daily consolidation periods. And if I know a handful of people, that means that there's tens of thousands, if not more, of those people spread out across the world. So it's a bearish reversal candlestick forming on the daily with a potential volume climax. But this uptrend has just been perfection. And again, using these moving averages for clarity has just kept these bulls grinding higher, higher lows and higher highs, increase in bull volume. At this point in the last week, I've traded Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin, all of them, but certainly have not capitalized on a huge move like we saw on Ethereum due to selling too early, but not going to complain about profit. Profit is always nice. So we ended up pulling back significantly. And remember, when we lose the exponential support on one time frame that we're watching, we zoom out and we look for a 4-hour higher low. And that's exactly what the bulls gave us. They just gave us a 4-hour bull flag and then saw a continuation today. And look where we bounced off of to form that higher low on the 4-hour time frame and to start the reversal for that bull flag. So again, using these exponential moving averages as a guide and knowing when to zoom out. For example, we've held this 4-hour exponential support now on 3 tests. When we lose that level, we'll zoom out to the daily and we'll do it again there. We'll look for a higher low on the daily. We'll watch the exponential support as a potential guide, depending on how far away it is. And the bounces here on Ethereum, 15-minute oversold conditions, we drop down to 243, straight back up to 254. That's a solid 4% bounce. And again, 5-minute oversold conditions, getting a little bit more extreme this time around, but comfortability for the bulls buying the dip when there are 5 and 15-minute oversold RSI levels lining up at the same time. So on Ethereum, 4-hour uptrend is the most important for me. And if we lose that 4-hour exponential support, we'll look for daily consolidation to be underway. A lot is going to be determined by whether or not Bitcoin can confirm this inverse head and shoulders pattern that we were looking at. And if Bitcoin breaks 77.48, our current low, and drops down to lower lows, that's when we're looking for hourly oversold conditions to develop. And I currently have some bids sitting down here in the mid to lower 7,000 range in case we do drop to those levels today, because I know that if we drop to, let's say, 7,500 in the next few hours, that hourly RSI will be getting oversold. So I will adjust that as time goes on and the RSI levels change. But for right now, that's where I have some orders sitting. And we can anticipate that if we do see that bear break on Bitcoin, and if we do get to hourly oversold conditions, we're going to be looking at some really nice bounce opportunities due to the volatility in these altcoins as well. So Litecoin has been pulling back significantly. Litecoin had that pop, but pulling back pretty quickly after that pop, certainly not seeing the kind of follow through that Ethereum is. So we had the 4-hour exponential support. That's been lost now, and we're looking down at daily consolidation. So a daily exponential support is our guide here in the mid $80 range. And as far as RSI levels go, we got close to hourly oversold. We're still in an hourly downtrend, and it's a very similar hourly chart to what Bitcoin has right now. If we break the low 90s, hourly RSI will likely get oversold. We have a clear downtrend to be watching, 107.60, a lower high at 102.21, and a lower high at 101.48. So we can say anything under 101.48 is just an hourly lower high at this point. XRP USD has also topped out temporarily. The hourly exponential support was holding. We lost it. We had a bear flag and then confirmed the trend change. So here's our pullback, lower high, lower low, and very similar to Bitcoin and Litecoin here with this current pattern. The 4-hour time frame has broken support as far as, well, actually you could make the argument that it hasn't, because we didn't really see any 4-hour consolidation aside from down here at 376. But if we do see another leg down, it will be very clear the daily consolidation is underway. And again, same thing. We're watching the exponential support. We're looking for a daily higher low to form. And my rule of thumb, which comes from trading stocks, if I'm looking for a weekly higher low to form in an uptrend, I'm looking for daily oversold conditions to be a really good entry point, looking for that weekly higher low. If I'm looking for a daily higher low to form, I'm looking for hourly oversold conditions to begin scaling in to look for that daily higher low to form. So the longer term time frame guides what direction we're looking in, and then the shorter term time frames and their indicators, volume and RSI, can help us determine where we want to be starting to scale in for those entries, assuming that the longer term time frame is going to maintain the trend that it has been in. Binance is also topping out a bit. Have we lost the 4-hour uptrend is the first thing I want to know. And technically, you could say we lost it there, but we're still holding the exponential support, so not a clear break yet. If we drop down and break $25, then we'll say we have clearly shifted momentum. We'll zoom out to the daily, and we'll look for a daily higher low to form compared to 1830. Binance is pretty much an example of what every single name that we have looked at wants their daily chart to look like as far as consolidation, form a higher low, hold exponential support, and then see continuation. So that's obviously happened on Binance already, but over the next 3-4 days, that's what we want to see for bulls, the Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin chart look like as far as healthy consolidation into continuation. EOS BTC doing this for a newer member who is interested in this chart. So when I'm doing analysis on a name that I haven't looked at yet, I start on the daily just to get a broad perspective of what's going on, and that's just because the daily is the most clear for me. And I can see that we've been in a very long downtrend, and we're now seeing a pretty solid bounce, breaking some resistance levels, and that we have not confirmed the trend as far as forming a higher low and higher high is concerned. But this now tells me I need to look at the weekly chart and see how bad this downtrend is. So I can say, all right, we were in a weekly uptrend end of 2018 to start 2019, and we have lost that uptrend. So we can assume that when we bounce here on the weekly, and if that daily chart does change the trend with that higher low and higher high, we're going to be looking for a weekly lower high to form on EOS. Then I want to know more info. I want to look at the monthly. Well, the monthly chart's trying to change this trend here. So we had the high, the low of the pullback, high of the bounce, which is just a monthly lower high, and now we're getting this monthly consolidation to try and form a higher low compared to 0.0472. And then we need to see a break of 1147 to change the monthly trend. So now I have the perspective of all these time frames. The bulls have to change the daily trend to see a weekly bounce take place. The bulls have to change the weekly trend by setting a lower high on a bounce and then a higher low and higher high to form our monthly higher low. And then the bulls need to change the monthly trend to be looking back up towards those all-time highs. So we have a lot of names in the crypto space right now with yearly uptrends, weekly uptrends, daily uptrends, but we don't have monthly uptrends at this point because of how long that consolidation was. And even Bitcoin, it's a very significant bounce. We are looking at resistance levels, but until we see a monthly higher low and higher high, we don't have a confirmed trend change. So just being aware that that's really the only time frame left before where all systems go for bulls looking at uptrends in 2019 here. So it is something we're keeping an eye on. And just in EOS BTC's instance, we're a lot closer to forming a monthly higher low than we are on Bitcoin. Bitcoin hasn't even seen weekly consolidation yet from this initial bull move, let alone monthly. But monthly consolidation, once we do get it on Bitcoin, if we get it before we see some kind of exponential run here, that is when we're going to be looking at, I'll probably add some more long positions if we do see a monthly higher low forming. So that's where we stand overall. Just a quick recap. We're watching Bitcoin for this inverse head and shoulders pattern on the hourly time frame. And really it's just going from consolidation and then trying to resume strength for these bulls. And if they pull that off, that's going to be the potential daily bull flag forming. And it would be very impressive if the bulls could pull that off. I'm going to be interested in Ethereum. Let's run over Ethereum and Litecoin comparative to Bitcoin to see what these charts look like. And I can see a big bull move on ETH-BTC. We do still have an hourly uptrend. So as long as we are seeing this 4-hour and hourly uptrend in control, ETH is going to be the better play than BTC. And as far as LTC-BTC, we can see it's a lot more choppy and a lot less clear as to which direction to be looking. And as far as the daily chart goes, Inverse head and shoulders pattern is a potential here. If we can see a bull break of 1295 and 1325, that would be a notable daily shift, but without that, this isn't doing a whole lot. So Ethereum is the most bullish with where we stand right now. Bitcoin's in the middle, Litecoin's after that, just looking at those three as individuals. And we will see if these Bitcoin bulls can keep this consolidation extremely healthy. I appreciate you watching. Here at the end, we've got a botanical garden from Denver, still going over video from this past weekend's trip. And it was a pretty cool spot in the middle of the city. I'm not a city guy whatsoever, so these little havens for escape are always nice. They had something like 9,000 different varieties of plants, and it was very big, and they had a big plant sale event going on, so that was fun. And I'll leave you with some funky tunes, and we'll see you next time. Do good things.